All right, we are live now on Stream Sundays, June Gloom edition. What is going on, everyone? Sorry about the delay. We actually just we're starting to stream on Instagram right now, so there was another variable introduced into the whole mix. So as things go, like things things were all wrong, so I had to fix it up. So it took some time. So thanks for your patience. But there is a new YouTube link. I'm gonna try to find the old one to like tell people. Basically, we're at another YouTube place, but hopefully y'all will find where it is. But yeah, we're here, and that's all that matters. And we're excited to hang out with you all, and you know, answer any questions you might have, and that sort of thing. How are you guys doing, Tosh and Hazel?
Doing really good.
What you
A
been
little,
up to?
I'm a little sick. My voice is a little
Oh,
sassy today. It's funny when you get sick and you kind of like it and you're like, that's nice.
you're like, what can I record with this
Yeah.
sassy voice?
Do some
Someone
recording.
hire me for an audiobook right now.
Yes, I love it. Got like that smoky whiskey voice going on.
It's so nice. It's so nice. Like, ooh, I'm just naturally cool right now.
You're already cool. I'm just saying.
It's like
I appreciate
it's like
that.
your Tom Waits vibe. It's
Yeah,
good.
Yes, yes.
exactly. Got to get a little growl in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're getting some love in the YouTubes.
Oh,
Sending
great.
some
Hello.
feel betters and some hot tea and honey.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
yes.
you. Thank you so much. I'm trying to get this stream too so I can say hi. There we go. I got it. Thanks, y'all.
All right.
No,
Well,
summer colds can be the worst because it's like you assume that you're in the clear once you get through the fall and winter season, and then you get a
Right.
summer cold. It's like, wait a second, I'm supposed to get sick in the summer.
Speaking of sick in the summer, I love the June gloom theme. I don't know like how many people know what that means and the effect that it has that June gloom is such an interesting aspect of like certain areas, in California. So I like that. It always affected
Yeah,
me in a certain way.
it's interesting because it's been like, you know, every morning that I've been waking up here for the past month, it's been super gray. So I've been enjoying
Mm.
it. I love the clouds.
Oh,
So
that's amazing. Yeah.
perfect hiking weather.
Mhm. Yeah, not so
I
not
do
too
love the
hot.
hikes. Not too hot. Yeah. It's actually cold. It was really cold this morning. So, well, cold
Really?
for Southern California. Yeah. So, yes, it is a June gloom time.
Yeah, the June
it's my favorite
gloom.
time. I love it.
Really? Oh,
Um,
I love
Yes.
that.
yeah, I don't know. It's so nice. It's not as
Wow.
sunny. It's always sunny in Southern California, so it's like here's a nice change of pace, and it's supposed to be all nice and everything, but I think it's nicer. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think I have it within me to be a very gloomy, happy person. I don't know.
Totally, totally.
And for anyone who's tuning in right now, even especially on Instagram, this is our first time we're actually streaming live on Instagram. Looks like there's like a bunch of people there. But feel free to
Yay.
ask any questions you might have for the band. Say hello. This is our first adventure doing an Instagram stream. So thank you so much for bearing with the technical difficulties. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions you might have.
Yay.
We have a question on YouTube from Trailer Trash. How we decide on a tour set list, and does it have to be a unanimous decision? That's a fun question.
Mhm.
Yeah, we it's kind of a collective group think. We actually will change it up from show to show, just depending on how much time we have to play. The vibe of the night. Sometimes we'll literally change it that day. We'll like go in and we'll feel like what the other bands are feeling like, what the DJ's feeling like, what the night's feeling like. Sometimes people will request songs as well, so we try to squeeze those into our set list. We do actually have like a some preset set lists that with the intention of taking people on a journey. And those are built, and those are really fun for us to play because it's really it's really, really thought out. Like we're like, okay, what kind of a journey are we going on tonight? So yeah, yeah. And it is something that we all like kind of play around with when we're thinking about like approaching it from a story standpoint. So that is a very
Yeah,
fun.
we've been having a lot of fun putting together our set list because it is very intentional now, and it is with that whole idea of like bringing you on a journey, you know. So when you come to our show, like, I mean, ultimately, like the way we envision it is just like the moment you walk into the venue, it's you're in the Alice universe, you know. And then when we play, it's just an extension of the experience, and the whole show is just like a long story, you know, or a short story, depending on how much time we have to play. But yeah.
For sure.
Ernie is saying that it's really lovely to meet you, Hazel. It's been a while since Ernie's joined us for one of these, so thanks for joining us. And
Yay.
yes, yes, thank you for the welcome for Hazel. We love her. So
Yay.
yes.
For
Yeah,
sure.
Hazel's awesome.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh, Ronald is asking, Khaleesi wants to know what she has to do for some good ear scratches. Absolutely nothing because Khaleesi is adorable. So I send virtual scratches her way. Yes.
Is that like a cat?
No, it's a dog. She's so
Oh,
cute.
oh, I think I've seen
Yes,
pictures.
we love Khaleesi.
Khaleesi's a great name for the dog. So cute.
Aw.
Mother of dragons. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, proper.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is really cool. Troiler followed up with saying the set list from Houston really plays like an album and journey, and listens to that one a lot. That's awesome. That was the intention. We really wanted people to feel that. Like we like taking people on the peaks and valleys and feeling like there is kind of an ebb and flow, not just being like one blistering dynamic like the whole time. So that's really awesome that you felt that. Alice verse.
Yeah.
Thomas is saying Alice verse. Does that mean a theme park? Yes, 100%. That would be amazing
Theme
to
park.
have a theme park. Yes,
It would mostly
that
be
would be
like,
proper.
That would be so cool.
I don't know. I don't know
Yes.
why I just imagined Carl in a hot dog seat when you said theme park. I'm like, there we go.
Y'all, did you
Oh,
know
Carl.
the launch of our summer tour, which is July 17th, is actually National Hot Dog Day? I'm just saying.
No.
Just saying.
Why is this
Oh man.
happening? Like,
It
what?
seems to follow us.
Like, I don't understand. Why is it a hot dog? I just need to know.
It's just, you know, these are the
What is the
things
hot
that
dog
entertain us.
medicine, Native American like medicine, you know, like the animal wisdom? If it's a hot dog, what does that mean?
Yes.
Oh
If
yeah.
your
I don't
spirit
know.
animal is a hot dog. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are we honored or are we afraid?
I don't know. Maybe a little of both.
Oh wow. That's
So we
gonna be
have
a great post.
a question on Facebook. CJ Williamson is wondering if we're coming back to Chicago.
Gosh, I so wish we could have made Chicago happen, CJ. I tried. So the weekend I was looking at for Chicago, unfortunately, is also Dark Waves. So we are going to
Big
be playing in Des
festival.
Moines. Yeah, Dark Waves is a huge festival, and everyone warned us don't play in Chicago that weekend because that would be a really tough weekend to play. So we are playing Des Moines. That is booked, and I'm super excited for that. That's, I believe, on September 26th. We'll be posting up more information as all the dates get booked, but we are playing Des Moines. I'm looking for some dates that weekend. We're playing Detroit, opening up for Urban Heat, and Twin Tribes, which we're super excited about on Sunday, September 29th. So that Friday and Saturday, I think we're kind of floating some ideas of where we can play. I'm looking for maybe something in Columbus, Ohio, on September 28th. But yeah, under advisement of a lot of our friends in Chicago, they were like, don't come this weekend. And I was like, oh,
Hmm.
it's the only weekend that we could be in Chicago for this year. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll be able to find something that's relatively close. And if not, I promise next year we will make it up to you and play Chicago and eat the Chicago pizza together. So, yes.
I mean, best case scenario, somehow we end up playing at Dark Waves Fest. So, you know, you never know if you're one of the people there and they're like, hey, we need another band, here's Alice.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
I'm actually, if anybody has ideas for either Flagstaff or Vegas, I'm looking for a last minute date in July. One of our dates is still kind of pending, so I'm looking for that, and I'm looking for some of our dates in the fall. So that including like Ohio and something in the Midwest. So but it looks like CJ is going to make it out to Detroit, so that is awesome. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're getting asked on Instagram by Dubs1964 about any Texas dates. Unfortunately, we are not making it to Texas for this upcoming tour. We are making it to New Orleans. So I know I used to live in Houston myself. If you are willing to make a little hop, skip, and a jump New Orleans jaunts, that would be awesome to get to hang out. And like if we miss Texas this round, which we will, it will be next year that we'll come back. We absolutely love Texas, and half of us are from there, so we have to bring it back to the motherland. So
bring it back.
Yes. Yes.
So I saw a few other questions. Kevin Smith was wondering what the date is for Des Moines.
That's Thursday, September 26th at Lefties. And we are going to be performing again with the Bewitched Belly Dance Troupe. So we're super excited about that. I feel like it's like our go-to. We have to perform together. They're amazing. We love getting to perform with them. So yes. Last time there was fire dancing. So
what's up, Dave Hargraves? Good to see you in the YouTube chat.
Yay.
And Jessica Davis, yes, we will be in New Orleans, and we're also definitely doing the New Orleans experience this year, which is basically like a Halloween themed getaway with the band for 3 days. So for those that have expressed interest, I'll be reaching out soon. And for those that haven't heard about this before, it's really fun. We'll be doing all kinds of stuff, everything from like private performance, and you'll get a chance to even jam with us, and a full day in New Orleans, like where we do like boat tour and hang out in some of our favorite haunts. You know, it's just really freaking fun, and you know, get a chance to just spend some real quality time. So beyond just playing a show.
Yeah, New Orleans is one of our wonderful, inspiring places to go to. I feel like there's like always amazing music at every corner, amazing food, and there's just a vibe. Like it's such a vibe. So yeah. And it'll be Hazel's first time in New Orleans. So
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's been so long. People tell me I need to go, and I just haven't been able to go. So
it's time. It is
long
time.
coming.
You were just waiting for us. You were just waiting for us.
Yes. I guess it was waiting for that. Yeah.
We found some really good spots, like just from being there for a bunch of times, you know, like there's this one, I forget what it was called even. It's like just like nondescript you know, seafood place that was like the best food I've ever had in my life, you know, and the entire band were just like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. So we'll go to there and everything else.
Yum.
It's fun.
Yum yum.
Yeah. Amaya sending Hazel some love.
Aw. Much love.
Yes. And Laura is asking if there's any chance that we'll be returning to Nashville. We are working on that actually. So we're doing our best, working with a promoter who is going back and forth between a couple of dates. So we'll keep you posted with what we can figure out. So yes. And we are indeed going to Charlotte. We are playing at the Milestone Club. Temperius is mentioning. Yes, we are playing North Carolina. We love it there. It's such an amazing place to play. We love North Carolina and our friends there. So yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
The New Orleans experience, the weekend, what is it, October 9th? right? The weekend
No,
of that.
it'll be October 4th. So it's a Friday,
Oh,
October
okay.
4th through October 6th. So Friday through Sunday. It's Halloween month. It's
That's true.
I've decided that October, I think, well, we have decided October is Halloween month. So in the month of Halloween, we're gonna be kicking it off. We've done it in during Halloween before. It's really crazy, which can be fun. But we were thinking it might be fun to try like the first weekend where it'll still be really active, but it's like not quite so crazy as actual Halloween time. So yeah.
Um, I got a pretty fun question here from Mike in YouTube. He's asking, what's the shortest and longest it took to write and compose a song? Pick one.
Ooh.
LOL.
Ooh, pick one.
Love it. So I would say shortest was either Moonbeams or See Me. That was pretty immediate. With Moonbeams, like everything came out all at once. Like the piano part, the lyrics, the melody, like it just kind of came. It's like some songs are just it comes from a place of real like inspiration and expression, and it just all comes out at once. I would say the longest song was probably Awaiting. It's an odd meter song, and I was playing around with that during the year-long MKIO tour. There's a section of it that's in 13. And I was like, what do I do with this? This is so weird. And so it was this cool little riff that I was playing around with, and I had no idea what to do with it. And so I think we sat on that for a couple years. And I was jamming that out with Gordon and Scott. At the time, it was just the three of us starting out Alice. Um, and Gordon was playing drums with his feet while playing bass and singing too, as he does. And we were just kind of playing around with that for a few years before it finally came together. And we're like, okay. And it came, I mean, the way we strung it together was finding different time throughout the song. So it had to have an ebb and flow. And there's sections that we had to change the meter. And I don't know, it was sort of like that song definitely took us on a journey for sure. So a few years as opposed to like sit down and write off a song immediately. And See Me was like that too. Like Scott was playing around with this synth riff, and like immediately heard the song. So that was a pretty immediate like hello song. There you are waiting in the ethers for us.
I love that. Hello.
Hello.
And here you go.
Yes, and here you go.
Yeah. Songs.
And Ernie is asking if we did any new songs on this last tour when we played in St. Louis. See Me was the latest one. And yes, we did play that in St. Louis. So yes.
Yeah.
I'm just chatting with people. Zach was wondering and excited that we are playing in New Orleans. So he's got vacation time. So it sounds like he's
It's gonna
interested
be so
in
great to
hanging
see.
out.
Yes.
Love some vacation time.
Yes. Zach is asking if we love David Bowie. Yes, as a matter of fact, we've done several really cool shows and events involving David Bowie. Like we used to play the Labyrinth Masquerade Ball here in LA, and it's a masquerade ball based on the movie Labyrinth. And so we covered As the World Falls Down when we've done that. And we also did a really cool theatrical like collaboration where we took a couple of his albums, Hunky Dory and Diamond Dogs. We learned the whole thing, and the band played the music while we had like actors and singers singing the different songs as a theatrical presentation. And that was amazing to be able to like translate each album. It was very educational. So yeah, I think he's an incredible artist. I love
That
that
was
he
like
just goes from different eras and just evolves in each one. I think he's a very inspiring artist to look up to for sure. What were you gonna say, Scott?
there was like really was a musical education. Like for me, it felt like it was like better than any music teacher I've ever went to, better than any music school I've ever done, is like being forced to be in a situation where like, we're playing a live, they're calling it a live like rock opera. So there's a whole cast of characters, singing all the parts, and you're basically like the backing band, and we're singing sometimes, but it's mostly like, like there's this whole crew, so like you've got to be playing the parts completely correct, without any crazy mess ups, so it's really good. It's really good practice, being able to just like play this music, and then it just gets under your skin and into your soul, because it's like that kind of music is like, it's very foundational to a lot of modern music. I mean, geez, like just thinking about, all the those albums that David Bowie did, and
Mm.
how influential it's been on modern rock, like goth, every movement that there's been. I feel like David Bowie is somehow involved at the top, so
That's a fascinating perspective. I feel like I need to dive into more David Bowie now. I really just David Bowie and Labyrinth was like cap for me. Like I didn't need anything else. Like that was it.
mhm.
Which is unfortunate actually that it was like, that's good. I'm good with this. This is amazing. Should have expanded. So now maybe I will.
Yes. Yes.
Highly recommend
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, one of the things I really actually love about our streams and our community is that people will suggest like different artists we should check out or cover. And it's always like, there's always somebody that says something that I haven't heard of. And so it's really cool because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna add that to the list and listen to the song and get some inspiration, because that's I think something
Hmm.
that's really important to expand for sure.
it.
Yeah, definitely.
So now, for
Uh,
anyone who's joining or hanging out, feel free to ask any questions, and we're here to answer anything, any questions that might be like burning in the back of your mind. But feel free to ask.
So many
so cool.
questions.
Imperius
Not me.
says that they've seen Bowie in concert. That's amazing.
Wow.
I have
That's
alas,
incredible.
I am confined to the YouTube world where I see past videos. Same thing with like Queen. I would have loved to have seen Queen live. Like I feel like there's such an inspiration. Freddie Mercury is such an incredible singer and front person. So yeah, there's a lot of former
Yeah,
artists that I wish I could see live for sure. But yeah, that's amazing you got to see it.
I got to see Bowie with Busta Rhymes. It was a strange show,
Oh, wow.
but it was like David Bowie. It was a big, like, it was almost like a festival, but it was like, it wasn't completely festival, but it was like David Bowie, Busta Rhymes. I think Peter Murphy was there, like
Mm.
performing. Um,
Wow.
it was insane, and it was definitely an amazing show. I don't remember too much, but it was a while ago, but it was fun.
That's so cool. It's a good show.
Black Sabbath. Chip is mentioning Black Sabbath. That's also really awesome inspiration for sure. Just some iconic
Yeah.
guitar riffs, I think, in Black Sabbath. I mean, a lot of
Oh
iconic
yeah.
songs. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We're
Mary is saying you guys are such an inspiration into following my dream of being a musician. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah. I love that we are all inhabiting the world of dreams together here.
yeah. If it's in you, just do it. I mean, right now is the best time, better than any other time in the history of humanity, in terms of like being able to create anything you want. You know, at any time, like even on your phone, you have the ability to make music. Like, so we all have the tools, so it's a great time to be a creator.
That's so true.
I love that you use the word creator because I feel
Hmm.
like, it's like, I mean, like Hazel inhabits so many mediums. You're like a visual artist as well. And I think that it's just sort of, it's like one big expression in my mind where it's like, it's the field of art and the field of expression.
Yeah.
So like whatever's calling to you, definitely just go forth and
Mhm.
express. And we're all waiting for it. We
Yeah.
all want to hear you express.
I love that. Yeah. Fully support that.
Yes,
Cranial Nerve says
absolutely.
there's a band called Tomb of Nick Cave in New Orleans. So just the name alone, that sounds awesome.
Mm.
That sounds familiar too. Like I feel like
We've tried
it's
to hook up
familiar.
with them. It's never worked out when we've been there, but definitely
Hmm.
we'll try again for sure.
We got another question asking like who's our influences besides David Bowie.
Ooh, you should go first.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the music that really influenced me when I was younger to play music to begin with was like a combination between there's like a lot of heavy music and then there was Pink Floyd. I was raised in a household where like my parents were hippies but like music lovers, so they would listen to like a lot of classic rock, blues based rock. Like my dad was like really into like old delta blues players, so anytime I was in the car with him he'd be like playing like just like the old crackly radio like recorded from like the 1930s blues guitars, and I'm like, this is amazing, so it's just sort of around me, but then like what really got me into playing music was just hearing the power of like of the rock, just the rock and roll just like permeated my being when I got to experience live music, and that's what really made me want to like play a guitar and turn up the amp and rock out and stuff.
That's awesome. How about you, Hazel?
Oh, gosh, I have so many influences. I recently got back in touch with one. I'm doing a Spartan race in September. I'm gonna go jump over stuff and carry stuff, but we're making like a playlist for it. And I was like, oh, what can I send to them that kind of represents me, right? That we can rock out to, and something that represents like, and I had forgotten Maria Brink from In This Moment and how much I
Oh yeah.
love her.
Oh
So I just
wow.
after I
Yeah.
sent a couple of songs from In This Moment, I was like, oh, I haven't listened to them in so long. And so I was like, I need to go for a run. So I went for a run, just listened to her, and I was just like, she's amazing. And you forget, you go through these phases where you listen to certain things and you forget periods of your life where you're really influenced by certain singers. And when I was in my first band, it was a metal band. I was listening to a lot of her, um, getting really inspired by just her ability to emote. Her lyrics were really resonating with me, and just the screaming.
Mm.
I can't do the screaming. She does it. It's amazing.
Tasha's got a pretty good scream too.
I've
Yeah,
heard.
thank you.
Yeah.
I remember we had that
Yes.
conversation forever ago, how you were telling me how you did it. We still talk about it, but yeah, you do.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It's
Yeah.
definitely a lot of trial and error and studying other people and studying with some good teachers too. So, but for me, it has
Yeah.
to come from a real place. Like I can't scream just
Mhm.
for scream's sake. Like it has to come from a very visceral, raw place that comes from my gut.
Oh, that's
That
fascinating.
feels very real to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think I could do it as karaoke, for instance. Like it
Yeah,
has
Right.
to be something that feels like a very real emotion.
You can't be like,
I
here's my
remember
trick. I'm gonna scream.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
Right.
remember recording Tosh for Mankind is Obsolete, and it wasn't like it's not
Mm.
like normal singing where it's like, okay, let's do this take a couple times and try to like, just get different variations. No, like you do it one or two times, then that's all you get. And and it's like you can't force it. It needs to just happen naturally. And then if you do it too much, it'll tear your throat apart. So it's like, it's like
Yeah, unfortunately, Maria
crazy.
Brink, when she speaks, she's like me right now. She's worse. It's like just like nodes for
Yeah.
days. She's so squeaky. And I mean, that's the price that she's paid. And I've worked with singers that have also said that, what's it like singing like that? Not just screaming, but like really pushing the voice for, 2 decades plus. And I've been told, well, their voice is kind of shot. They're like, this is the price you pay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think, I mean, there's ways to do it where you can do it relatively with the least amount of wear and tear, I guess. But
Mhm.
it is a matter of um, it's like there is a mechanism in your voice that it does cause abrasion, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is one of those things where you're like, okay, how do I plan the set? Can I sing that really high note and do that scream? So it's a
Wow.
tricky vibe for sure. Yes.
That's so,
Um,
yeah.
Sean Lammers is asking songs that you can hear me doing some screaming. Well, yeah, if you check out some Mankind is Obsolete albums, um, yeah,
That's a
There's
good one.
definitely some, yeah, there's some definitely, yeah. Trapped Inside, I do a lot of it. We recorded that with uh help me out here, Scott.
Sylvia Massey. Sylvia
Sylvia
Massey.
Massey. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. And yeah, that was another case where we ended up using a lot of demo vocals. Just because like when I was in my own place and recording in my closet, I felt very comfortable to just sort of let it rip. As opposed to, I mean, she has a beautiful studio, but it feels different when you're like in this foreign environment. And yeah, we ended up using a lot of demos. So yes, but that's where you can check out some more heavy stuff.
Yeah, Blank
Yeah.
Blank Thought was mentioning that in the live stream they heard some growl in your voice. And yeah, you'll hear it come
Yeah.
out a little bit on Forget,
Oh
you
yeah, it was
know?
Bottle Truth, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe
Bottle
I
Bottle
Truth
Truth.
love
is in
it.
there as
I
Yeah.
love
well.
it.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm
yeah,
like, I love it.
yeah. For Dad, I think was something where I was able to like channel some of my MKO vocals that it was very cathartic. So that was something where we were jamming it out and the guys were like, "Oh, there's that voice." So we were there,
Mhm.
there she is. So
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
there it is. Yeah.
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 Love that. I love it
Um,
so much. So good.
Mary Tellis was wondering if there was another artist we would love to collaborate with, who would it be?
Good question. You guys go first.
I feel like
Fun.
who was it that was on that we were talking about? It wasn't Maynard, was it?
That's a
Mm,
good person to collaborate
that'd
with.
be a great
Yeah.
person. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Um,
Um,
yeah. Who would we
I
collaborate
mean,
with?
well,
You
living
know,
or dead,
that's
because
a good question. I feel
Right.
like there's
That's a
like
great
really awesome like modern artists too, like that I'm into. Like I found this. I know you like this artist too. Their name So Below, Tosh, and
love
I feel like
solo.
that's someone we probably could collaborate with if we reached out to. You know, so there's people that obviously like there's like the crazy like oh my god, you know Trent Reznor. You know, of course, you know making a track with him would be awesome. But it would be cool to like work with people that aren't typical like like heavy music people either. Like good one is Sarah McLaughlin. How do you I can't pronounce anything
McLaughlin.
right
Yeah.
now. McLaughlin. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Yeah, she's like
She just
I
had a
heard
great
her.
show, I think. Everyone keeps commenting on how good that last show she just did. I don't know where that was, but
Mhm.
we're all in this hive mind, so I know you guys have seen what I'm talking about.
Yes, indeed. But like, she had a good Delirium cover. And I mean, it's like it's cool when you fuse electronic or heavier or darker music with like people from completely outside the genre. I don't know. Michael Bublé. I don't know. That'd be funny.
I don't know. I think that I don't know. It'd be really fun to collaborate with actually visual artists or filmmakers as well. I'm a huge fan of Floria Sigismondi. She's done music videos for like Bjork and Marilyn Manson, in fact, and did stuff for David Bowie. And
Hmm.
her art is really beautiful. It's very surreal. So that would be amazing to collaborate with her as an artist. Yeah, I don't know. I love collaborating periods, so it's always fun, no matter what is presented. We have a collaboration on deck with our friend XRL7. And so we're going to be doing a song with him that's going to be coming out after our next single. Our single is coming out soon, y'all. We have Me and You that's on deck, and so we're aiming to have
Yeah,
that released before our summer tour. So that's
pretty
coming
soon.
out really soon. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, mixing it today actually, or somebody was like, in Discord, we have a Discord. If you're not on it, by the way, make sure to join. But they just offhandedly mentioned, like, they're like, oh, what are you up to today? I was like, yeah, just working on the new, our newest song. And they were just like, you're literally, that's so cool. Like, I'm able to just talk to you right now and you're working on a new Alice song. And so, that's how it goes. But it's very exciting.
Yeah. You got
Preston was
some love.
asking.
Oh, go
Sorry.
ahead. Sorry.
I was going to ask a question, but why don't you go first, and then you could go into
Oh,
your
no,
next
no. You were
question.
getting some love from Instagram. This is Midway, so that you're a great guitar player.
Oh, thank you.
Facts,
Yes.
not lies.
You guys are very kind. Preston from the YouTube channel chat was asking, do you ever cover classic songs from the past greats of musicians?
We do
And
have a
yeah,
plan.
definitely.
My
We
voice
do
is
have a
gone.
plan.
Wow, it's good.
Yeah, we got to record some vocals with your like, that
Yes.
tone.
Yes.
Get some like lower octaves out, right?
Yeah. We're gonna have to definitely dive into some fun classical repertoire at some time. Or did you mean classic? Did he mean classic rock? Because when
I
we
think
say
they said.
classical, we're taking it back.
Oh
We're
yeah,
taking
no, they're
it
saying
Yeah, we're like,
back.
how classic are we talking? Yes,
I think
we have
yeah, I guess.
plans. Yes.
Are we talking like Mozart classic,
Right.
or Jimi Hendrix, or are we talking about like what's it called?
Maybe all of the
I
above.
don't know.
Yes, maybe all
Jeez,
of the above. Yes.
because
Yeah.
right now
I think that would
classic
be,
rock is
we
also like
definitely,
oh, sorry, go on.
oh yeah. I mean, we do have a Led Zeppelin cover that's on deck. So we have our friend Johnny Saravolo that we did Led Zeppelin cover with, and that we're going to be recording. So there's that. Yeah. And we have like a whole arsenal of cover songs we definitely want to dive into after the So Below album, because that's kind of our priority right now. It's been challenging, to say the least, to tour and produce music at the same time. So we're trying to squeeze in our production time in between tours. So we have our next single coming out in the summer, and then we'll be hopefully coming out with maybe another song or two before our fall tour. And then really focusing on like more. It takes time in the studio, because it's not just a matter of writing the songs, but it's also the production part, which is all Mr. Scott. He is our
Yeah,
producer slash mixer extraordinaire. So
I'm very
Incredible.
excited. I'm so excited.
yes.
Oh man. Yeah. I just like I had thoughts, and then they just disappeared. So
These were your thoughts.
these are my thoughts. Zach says, do you guys do shows in Northern California? I'm seriously considering moving to Reno at some point in the future, because I don't have kids and I hate taxes. I think that's a common sentiment. So, but yeah, we do play in Northern California. Honestly, like we haven't played in Southern California in a really long time. I think the last show we've had down here was like Bar Sinister 2 years ago or something. And we've just been playing so much outside of the state even, but finally we've got a few shows coming up that bring us closer. We're playing in San Francisco this summer at the DNA Lounge, which is one of my favorite venues in San Francisco. And we are also going to be back in Reno at the Alturas something or other
Alturas Bar. Yeah, we're playing
bar. Yes.
yeah, we're playing Alturas Bar in Reno on July 21st. This is Saturday. Or is it 20th? The 20th, which is Saturday. And then DNA Lounge on Sunday, which is in San Francisco, on July 21st. So if there's any Northern Californianers or Reno people, we would love to see y'all. Yes.
Yes. And even if you can't make it out to shows, just like, let your friends know if you know someone in the area. Because that's the only like we're still very much like an independent, under the radar band. So any word of mouth is like the best way to get people out and to support us. So even if you can't go, there's so much you can do.
Facts.
So Ronald Thompson on YouTube is asking, what do you guys do when you're not recording or writing new material? That's a great question. So I just sang at a really cool concert last night with the Pasadena Symphony. They do like a summer series doing like kind of more like pop classical, I guess. And whenever I can, I try to like catch a few classical things here and there when I'm in town. I also like to write. So working on a new children's book with Hazel. We're working on our second book to follow up with my best friend Fear. And I'm also writing some short stories and working on something called Rules of the Road. Scott wrote an app called Tour Router, and so I've been kind of plugging away at this online blog, and then with the intention of making it into a book. So a lot of my time is spent either booking the next tour, writing music, or writing. And then for funsies, I like to hike and watch movies, so and read. But yeah.
What was the question again? Oh,
So
what
when
do we
you
do
were not,
outside of?
What do we
yeah,
do when we're
outside
not
of
writing music?
yeah.
What do you do, Hazel?
I just
No.
feel like I feel like besides taking care of my screaming parrot toddler, it's not a child, it's an actual bird that is like a child. No, he's not a lot of work. But
Yeah.
working, and when you're an independent artist, like 90% of what you do is unfortunately not music. So there's a lot of marketing involved. There's a lot of, um, gosh, I mean, a lot of marketing, developing a strategy, working on, tech stuff, doing, when you do everything yourself, it's actually a very small part of the day or part of the week that you get to actually write music. Like today, for example, I was working on some marketing stuff and I sat down. My intention was to knock it out and get it out of the way and then write some music. I finished mixing and mastering a song yesterday. And then today I was like, I'm gonna do stuff. And I did not because you're doing a lot of other stuff. So and then when I'm, not recording, it's just everything. All of the above. All of the above.
How
Um,
about you, Scott?
so when I'm not working on music or yeah, I mean, like I'm working. Actually, I'm also a software engineer, but I build my own apps and I build my own softwares, and market it and do all that fun stuff. So I guess I'm sort of like a solo entrepreneur slash engineer. So my current thing is like working on Tour Router. Tosh is more or less my partner in that, and we have been building this for so long, and I'm really excited because I'm actually building a native phone app for it now, which I feel like is like the final piece for this whole thing we've been building up towards. And I feel like having Tour Router, in your phone, as a musician or an artist that's on the road and they like need to know where they need to go, they'll just look at their phone app and there you go. So that's what I'm
Amazing.
working on right now. Yeah. And then
Mhm.
other than that, I like to run around a lot. Like literally run.
Literally.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I like to
Yes.
run too.
Yes.
I'm gonna add that. I
Yes.
love
Yeah.
running. We like
Yes.
Hmm.
to
Both of
run.
y'all. Yes.
Yeah. Well, so do you, Tosh. I know that not anymore so much, but I'm still amazed you ran a marathon. I was thinking about that today. Like,
Yes.
man,
I did run a
so
marathon.
so cool. Like,
I'm
yeah,
Yeah.
now more of a hiker.
not
I
that
do I
yeah,
do love the hiking. Yes.
hiking's amazing. Hiking's
Yes.
amazing. Yeah.
Especially
Especially
in SoCal.
Southern California. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
Yeah.
the
I miss
I
that.
really
I
do
miss
love it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we got the best running here because it's like if you are up for it, like going on to the mountain trails and stuff like that, and running around, and it's definitely like keeps things interesting and fresh. Plus, it's like you're getting in nature, and it's like you're hiking and running at the same time, and it's just the best. So
It feels great. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
there were times I was hiking in Southern California where I actually got a little scared at how remote I was, like, alone.
Hmm.
Like,
Oh
there was
yeah,
Yeah.
there was
for
a time
sure.
where I found some trail because there's, like, books and stuff where you can find all these trails that just, like, they go into the mountains, and you just don't realize there's so much mountain there. And, I remember one time I turned back, so I was like, "I might get murdered. I think I'm gonna turn back." Like,
Yeah. No, it's important. Whenever
safety.
especially if you're alone, safety. Now, like you have everything on your phone, so you've got GPS and like the All Trails app is amazing. It's like it's insane. Like I'm a paid subscriber to it, and it doesn't cost too much. I feel like I'm a commercial right now, but it's like it is seriously amazing.
Yeah.
And it like you could download trail maps, and like even when you're off the GPS, or like when you're not even having any cell signal, like exactly where you are because the GPS is always like it's always there, satellite. But, but yeah, it's always good to bring a buddy when you're on a long hike.
So, a question from Amaya is what made us want to start our band, and Hazel, what made you want to start producing music?
Ooh, those good questions.
That is a good question. Oh, I know I've been songwriting for a long time, since I was very young. So, producing music, I started getting into electronic music fairly young as well, like middle school. I started being interested in, yeah, electronic music, and I always thought that'd be really cool, but it was like pie in the sky, like how would you even start doing that? So it's always in the back of my mind. And then COVID hit, and I just had this opportunity to spend a lot of time figuring out what people did, and I happened on figuring out not a program, but a system called Native Instruments that allowed me to it just opened the door to electronic music. So it was like I'm not going to say how old I was, but it was like a decades long process of getting to the point where I am now, where I'm producing music. And it started
Yeah,
very young. The interest started very young.
I think for
definitely a journey.
me, wanting to be in a band came from always being like the soloist on the piano.
Mm,
I grew up playing classical, and so which is it's not a team sport the way like other stringed instruments are. So a lot of times I spent a lot of time playing music by myself, which was awesome. I mean, I really found a love for just solo expression. But I think ultimately, like, I really love collaborating with people. That's where I really find a lot of joy. And so I love, bouncing ideas. Sort of the idea of sort of the sum is greater than the whole, the sum of the parts is greater than the whole, I guess. And
yeah.
so,
Mm.
I love hearing what other people come up with because I feel like I'm so lucky to get to create with people that are just extraordinary. And so, yeah, like I'll come up with an idea and then just sort of throw it out to the group and be like, okay, guys, go. And yeah, like I think it's so exciting. Like I'm really excited about me and you. Like Hazel came up with such gorgeous harmonies and just hearing it all come together, I think it's going to be really exciting. So yeah, bands for me is something. I mean, I think it's really great because I mean, with at least music, there's so many different art forms. There's something for everyone. Like some people really like being solo. I have some friends that just they don't like collaborating,
Mm,
and they're great at what they do. They actually prefer it, and that's awesome. So I think it's like it's whatever speaks to you ultimately is and whatever you feel comfortable with. Like some people find it really difficult to collaborate, and because it's not always easy. Everyone has a strong vision when you're working with really strong artists. Everyone can have a really strong vision, and it is absolutely a matter of compromise and listening to each other's ideas and being like, okay, well, this idea might work, and then kind of surrendering and going like, just because my idea isn't used doesn't mean it's a bad idea or I'm a bad artist, but just sort of trusting in the fact that it's sort of like what serves the song the best, you know? Yeah. How about you, Scott? You've been
Nice.
playing in bands for
that's
a while.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the question is like, what got us into playing bands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like this actually touches on a really deep part of me because growing up and in high school, especially, like I had a lot of problems. Like, I was definitely not the grade A student, I got into some trouble, like there's a lot of stuff that was happening and I just didn't know how to find friends, right? So there was a certain point when I was in high school and, going back to like when I started playing music, like I realized that I wasn't hanging around with the best people. I think I was like uh 13 or 14 at the time. Like it was between freshman and my sophomore year in high school. And basically, you know, I was basically like, I can't be friends with these people because they're not like good for me. So all of a sudden I had all this time on my hands, and it was like summer vacation, between not semesters, whatever, between when school ends and it begins again. And then I just sat down and I learned how to play guitar, and I just basically played my guitar for 12 to 14 hours per day for 2 or 3 months straight. Just, I had like this book, and I was just like going through all the exercises and literally just running scales and listening to music and learning songs and playing as much as I possibly could. And at the same time, I didn't have a lot of friends. And sorry, this is a little long-winded. I'll try to speed it up.
No, good.
But so like going forward, going back to school after the summer vacation was over, I had no friends, and I felt like a complete outcast. And that's when I met really still like one of my best friends. His name's Jesse DeSanto. He played in Alice for a little bit, but we actually, I heard that he played guitar and he was looking for someone to jam with. And I was like, sure, yeah, I'll totally go over and jam. And like, that's literally what we did every single day for school. It was, after school, we would just go to his place and just jam on the guitar. And we just loved doing it so much. We never had any intention of doing anything else except, jamming. And then people started coming over and they're like, you guys should probably start a band. And we're like, oh yeah, we should start a band, and Jesse had some song ideas. And, we already knew some of his friends that played other instruments. Like we found a drummer. His name was Eric, and a bass player, Phil DiBartolo. So like these people became my friends. For like the first time I made like really real friends was like through music. And ever since then, like that's just how I've sort of connected with people in my own life and connected with people in the world. It helped me get out of like so much dark times. And I became, I became familiar with what it really means to like work with other people on a team, and and communicate with people just from playing in bands. So it was like such a positive influence and everything. And that was the beginning, and I just never stopped. So but yeah, that's how I started.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, band is definitely chosen family for sure. I think that
It is.
well, the amount of time that we spend together, and in a really vulnerable place, like when you're creating art, you're vulnerable. It's like you're showing your little underbelly, and you're like, "This is my underbelly," and
Mm-hmm.
the other person's like, "This is my underbelly too." And
I love that. It's so true. It's why it's so special.
it is absolutely.
So
But
sweet.
yeah, I don't know. It's like I feel like that was the way I managed to connect to the world. So yeah, it's so awesome. And I love it. And playing in bands is just, it's for me, it's like breathing. Like I couldn't imagine myself not playing in a band. And now I just play primarily in one, but I've collaborated with other bands and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew on Facebook is asking if we are signed, and no, we are not. We're actually independent and have been from the very beginning. We do everything ourselves, from producing our own music to booking our own tours. Yeah, we've been very fortunate to be so supportive by our wonderful community that makes it all possible. So thank y'all so much for supporting us, and really making this such a joyous journey for us. Even when we're expressing music that is that's darker, heavier, that's introspective. I always feel like there's this beautiful support and joy all around us. So we're really, really grateful for that. Yeah, I think going back to what Scott said earlier in the stream, it's such a great time to be an artist, because so much is possible without labels. I think that's kind of an old school model that a lot of people used to think, oh, you can't tour or you can't make albums or whatever unless you have a label. And I love that there's just this huge surgence of artists that are like, actually, I can and I do. And I think that's really inspiring to that there's so many amazing artists out there that have platforms to be able to share their music. So yeah.
Yeah. No,
For
we're not
sure.
not signed right now, and I feel like Tosh said, it's just there's the current music industry model is much different than it was
Mhm.
even 3 years ago versus 5 years
Mhm.
ago versus 10 versus 15 versus 20. It's always changing, but the one thing you can do right now that everyone and anyone can do is create music or create anything you want. And it's like you have the tools right now, like without even buying anything. You could just download these free applications or there's just a million ways you could create. So,
Yeah.
but with that said, like, being an independent band, we relied just on our fans and our community. They're our direct support line. It's basically you guys are our lifeline, and when you all like either buy merch or get a starter pack or whatever it is, like that literally just like goes directly right to us. Nobody's getting like percentage. Like the credit card processing company is the only people, and we pay taxes. So it's like, but everything else goes right to us. So we appreciate any and all support, and the way that we're able to do this and continue touring is because we don't have a label. Like if we had a label, we'd actually have to pay a much bigger percentage. Like we'd have to buy our own CDs, just to sell them at shows, that sort of thing. Like, which is to me is sort of crazy. But maybe eventually one day, like when we need the actual, like, when we hit the wall in terms of like, all right, like we're selling like 500,000 t-shirts or CDs or whatever it is, there's no way we could sit there. It would take 5 years to like,
Yeah.
make a dent in that. So that's when I feel
Yeah.
like a label is necessary. Like they become like the like the bigger entity that you could rely on. They become partners.
So we're getting asked, well, it's an interesting conversation, and um, you know, um, yes, Andrew, you're bringing up the fact that every deal is different, absolutely. And somebody else is asking if we've had label offers. Yes, we have. This is just speaking from our own experience, is that the offers that we were given, they did want to take a large percentage of our merchandise or our CDs, and that is absolutely our lifeblood. And so, like, just at the level that we're currently at, it just doesn't, like, at least the offers that we've seen, it hasn't made sense for us, because we're doing actually okay on our own. Now, is there room for growth? Absolutely. But in our experience with
Mm-hmm.
other friends who have also been on labels, both more independent labels and also major labels, it's one thing to have an entity invest in you, but it always comes at a cost. It's interesting when you see the breakdown of like, how much money you actually have to they recoup, and how much money you're actually making as an artist. Like it's pretty considerable. Is it possible to get a good deal? Absolutely, but it's difficult and rare. And so it's entirely possible that we don't have any closed doors or windows in terms of being willing
Yeah.
to entertain ideas, or if anyone is interested in us, we've absolutely had those conversations. But it's like, where we're at in terms of being able to support ourselves and do all the things that we do. Like we do ship out our own merch as well, because with every middleman that's involved in a business, you lose that much more money. So it's food for thought. But yeah, we've been actively touring as a band for 8 years. We've been doing this for a while. And so just in our own experience as Alice, that's what we've seen is that it's absolutely possible to sustain as an independent band, and there's always room for growth. So yeah, always open to it. Definitely looking into more international waters next year. We'd love to be able to go abroad. We have a lot of community overseas that has been asking us for to go over there, and I know that being on a label can help make that more possible. So just where we're at currently in the present, we're happy, and most importantly, we're building a community that's organic and it feels authentic. And I really appreciate that we've been able to appreciate every single little bit that has built what we are brick by brick. Every single time that a starter pack goes out, like I'm handwriting these notes, right? And I'm writing out the address and I see like, oh, this is going to Texas or this is going to Arizona. And it's so special and meaningful because it's like every single piece, I'm reminded like no matter how big or small is a piece that is helping to build what we do. So yeah, I think that is part of the beauty of being an independent musician is that you really, really get an idea of who your community is.
Yeah. I think you basically encapsulated everything I wanted to say about that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think the one thing is like, there are things that it's still very hard for us to do, like go across seas and play shows in Europe and all those places, So I do know that some labels do make that more possible. So that is something we might consider in the future. You know, So I mean, there's
yeah,
there's so many different levels. So
yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, I think there's definitely like really great people out there that are absolutely for the benefit of the artist. We've unfortunately encountered not always that. So it's just interesting. I think in every industry there are people that will try to take advantage of people, and we have had that experience of people that are very much like there's a business around it and they're not really thinking about the artist as a person or wanting to benefit them. But I do believe that there's absolutely good people out there. So yeah, and we happen to be very fortunate in naturally having that within our community. So I like to focus on that.
yes,
Yes.
really good question though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zach has his handwritten notes in a case. I love that. Yeah, it's really
I love
special.
seeing it when people like either mount them up or do something creative. Somebody, one of our fans, Tosh, you probably know their name, but they actually took some of the stuff from our starter pack and created this like I don't want to say is it like a birdhouse? It's like a little sort of like a tiny little
Yes.
house, but it's like on the outside it's made up of it's constructed with some of the elements from our starter pack and they sent it back to us, as a present. And that was amazing. All that stuff lives in our studio. So it's always cool, when we're playing and rehearsing or working new music out, seeing all the awesome art people create and send to us. It's just incredible,
It's really special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and there's another question from Paul is how do we handle touring boredom on the road? I speak for myself, but there's no such thing. Like usually van time means sleep or I'm looking for the next show or sleep or reading, like reading podcasts. We're all introverts in the band, so it's kind of like our alone time, like it's sort of alone in the band together. Like we hang out and it's fun, but it's actually relatively like quiet and chill, which is lovely. I know Hazel got a taste for the love of the band. Oh, you're on mute.
I love the band.
Yes, yes.
Love the band.
What do you love about the band?
I love falling asleep. And I love like it's very cozy. And it just feels like I have a little safe space and I get to see things out the window and that's pretty cool to have this little safe space and see things out the window and then also sleep.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It's great.
Yeah. There really is nothing like seeing like the open road and the different like, you know, like it's like the different environments. It's amazing, like how many environments just in America. Like you can see the desert and you can see forests and trees, and suddenly, oh, there's the ocean, or just miles and miles of cornfields. It's just it's amazing. I love the open road.
I
It's
love it.
very, yeah,
Gorgeous. I mean,
yeah.
we'll wake up, or we'll end up. I mean, we wake up at different times, obviously, but like you might wake up and just have no idea where you are because you took a nap at a certain time, and then you wake up like I think we were going through the Dust Bowl. I was like, where are we? This is so. It was so beautiful. And I was just so, like, confused at the same time of, like, where was I? We stopped at that Texas it was in Texas, though. I don't maybe it wasn't the Dust Bowl, I don't know. But it was like they had this rest stop that had, like, windmills. Do you know what I'm talking about? It had, like, a museum.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, that was such a magical I woke up just looking for a snack, and I was like, "There better be a snack in that museum place thing." And
There's usually snacks. Yeah.
there was, like, um, some, uh help me. You know what I'm talking vending machine. Thank you.
Vending
And yes,
machines, yes.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, we got to experience Buc-ee's for the first time.
Buc-ee's
Yeah,
is
that was
another one.
amazing. That
Oh
was
my
Yeah.
god,
ridiculous.
it's
It's
so
like, where
great.
are we? Like the bathrooms were, it was like a beacon, like the heavens opened up. And I was like, this is a bathroom? How could that even exist?
Yeah.
I'm
Ah.
like, like, what is going on here? It's amazing and scary.
Uh, it's scary.
Yeah, it's just everything you always wanted in a truck stop and more.
Oh my gosh. And more and more and more and more and more and
And
more and
more.
more. And more. All the
Snacky
more
snacks.
snacky snacks, all the snacks.
Yes, snacky snacks.
Um,
This is Midway was asking on Instagram about our starter packs, and
aha.
they're really something that's really special for us. We originally, well, we were playing the Labyrinth Masquerade Ball, and we thought it'd be really fun to play like kind of a hide and seek game with people that came, and we were hiding these keys with little messages like all around the venue, and people would
Oh,
just randomly find them. And that was kind of the start of the idea of the starter pack because it comes with a little key, and it's a download key, so you can download digitally our As Above album, and a handwritten note, and a bracelet and a sticker, and
Mm,
um, oh, a signed postcard from all of us.
yeah.
But it's a little like mishmash of different little pieces of us, and a way to introduce ourselves to you. And it's something that I personally find is very sweet because I love getting to write these little messages to each person. I saw Maya when I wrote yours, and I saw when I saw it come in, I was like, yay! So that's awesome that you got yours. But yeah, it's our little envelopes of love that we send to you. So yeah, a little
yay.
introduction of Alice into your lives.
Love it.
Yeah, I sent a link out for anyone who wants to check it out. It's just the cost of shipping, really. So super low cost way to get started with some sweet merch, and it really does help keep things afloat, you know? So we appreciate it. Like I think it's nice for people to get stuff, you know, physical stuff still. Like as much as we live in a digital world, like it's so cool to have like a signed postcard or a sticker or, you know, anything like that these days, you know, and it's all personalized. It's all there's no like, you know, huge conglomerate monopolized corporation creating it. It's just us, you know. We're like, you know, we do our best and you know, we ship things out once a week and yeah.
Yeah, it's our once a week we get together. We don't get to do that when we're on tour, obviously. So shipping is a little bit slower when we're out on the road, and so we're very grateful for everyone's patience. And also holiday times because we are the ones doing all of the merch packing, and it is also nice to sometimes take holidays Being the mortals and humans that we are, it is good to take breaks.
Breaks are good.
Breaks
So
are
fair.
good. Yes.
So
Yes.
fair.
Oh, I'm seeing Chaos in the Veil is where we will see you at Absolution. We're looking
Yeah.
forward to that. That's gonna be really
Yeah, they're
fun.
playing with us there.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be awesome. Really, really looking forward to it. It'll be our first time at Absolution. We've been hearing all sorts of amazing things about it. So just like Dark Force Fest, we heard such amazing things about it. So we're really looking forward to getting to share the music.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. Yeah, we've got some really fun shows coming up, so we're excited. And again, like, we're also excited to work on music. So there's like, it's sort of like, it's so hard sometimes because we want to tour as much as possible, but then we're like, we need to make some music, it's time. So, we're trying to find that balance right now.
Oh, Scott, somebody in Twitch was asking for the link to the starter pack, if you could share that.
Oh, yes, I got you. Go.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Ernie, Ernie is asking on YouTube if we are going to be in St. Louis, and we're aiming to be close to St. Louis. So we're hopefully going to be in the region in the fall. So we'll keep you posted with that show for sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. DJ LP Vibe on Twitch is saying, glad you met everyone at Dark Force Fest. We were so glad to meet everyone as well. Everyone was so lovely. It was such an amazing community. I felt like it was like everywhere I went in nooks and crannies, there was always something like really interesting and creative going on, like all sorts of interesting. Oh, look at your shirt. Oh, I love it. Speaking of
What? You have a
which,
Dark Force Fest shirt?
Yeah,
Oh
I bought it online.
that's
Because
awesome.
we didn't get to go shopping while we were there.
I know. It was such a whirlwind for us because
Yeah.
when we played, we had played a show in Ohio the night before and then got in the van and then drove all night to get to Jersey because we had to load in at 10 a.m. And then we played a show, and then me and Scott and Steve did double duty with System Sin. So like when all was said and done, we didn't really have a chance to actually get to wander. But we did get to meet some wonderful people who were so welcoming and made us feel right at home. So that was lovely. And I've heard so many great things about Absolution Fest as well. So looking forward to the community there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark Force Fest was amazing. It's such a blur to me because like we literally drove the entire night to get there to do a sound check at like a load in and sound check at 10:30 in the morning to play a show at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And then Tosh, Steve, and myself also played with System Sin right after. There was one band after us, and then right after that was System Sin. So it was just like, it was probably one of the most insane days I've ever had, but it was like one of the best shows. And and that just made it even more fun because I was like sleep deprived and it was like I was in a weird alternate dimension and it was awesome. So hopefully we get to do it again. I'll do it again.
Yes, here's to time traveling in alternate dimensions. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It felt like that for sure. We were all floating. We all float here.
We did. And we were we had some of our wonderful people that bought us coffee and bagels and literally, saved our lives. Yes.
Oh my God.
Gifts of coffee are very welcome on
again,
tour.
it's like, sure. Again, you see the power of the community, the Mad Hatter Army. It's like they saw us in the parking lot. They're like, that's White Rabbit. And they're like, you guys look hungry and tired. We're going to get you coffee and bagels. And we're like, yes, you are our saviors. And we survive and exist because of you. So thank you. Yes.
We didn't eat anything else until
way after the System Sin show. Yeah. So
it was that was like 24 hours of
Yes.
Of
the
of the gratitude. 24 hours of gratitude for the bagels and coffee.
Oh, this is awesome. Nam the Ghost on Instagram is saying that you love the song Electrical. That's awesome. That's actually one of our favorite songs to perform. So
Yeah,
I love that connects with you. That means a lot.
For sure.
yeah, we
Yeah.
yes. Holly, I mean Holly, I meant Molly. I just saw Molly join
Oh,
Molly Hammer.
Molly. Yeah.
Um, she's also an artist who makes amazing music. Check her out.
Yes.
Yes,
Molly Hamner.
yes.
Yes.
Oh man, there's so many questions. I'm still like, all
I
right,
love it. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us, and thank you for your incredible
yeah,
questions and comments and just all around wonderful loveliness. We love getting to spend the time together. And Amaya, don't worry, we will definitely come to Jersey and New York. Scott's originally from New Jersey, actually. So that is the motherland for Scott, and we love getting to play in New York and New Jersey. So that is definitely on the bucket list for next year, for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Oh
yes,
man,
we will come to you.
yeah. It was just yes. New York, New Jersey. I feel like for some reason we do really well there, and it's like literally like the opposite end of the country for us. You know, I'm like, I wish sometimes we could just live there, and that's where we'd be. But then we'd be like, we got to go out to California. So
Yeah,
yes.
I feel like we just haven't reached a point yet. So usually, with each tour, we have to plan it by region, and it's sort of like, okay, this is the number of days that we can collectively do it, because scheduling for 6 people is literally like wrangling really naughty pandas. I don't know if y'all have seen panda wrangling videos, but it's like literally one panda is knocking over the trash while the poor handler is like sweeping, and then the leaves get everywhere, and then another panda is off doing something else. So it's scheduling for 6 people is a lot. And so finding the little pockets where we're like, okay, we can go out to this region for this amount of time, and I squeeze in as many shows as I can. And
Hmm.
so and it's amazing that we even get to tour. It's a gift, and it's a gift to be able to share our music live with people and to get to hang out. Like, it's one of our favorite parts of what we do is connecting to people who relate to us as people and us as artists. So that's awesome. So yeah, the fall tour I'm still putting together. I still have a handful of dates that I'm needing to put together. So hopefully we'll have more information for y'all soon. And I'm waiting for one last date to come through in the summer. So we'll have that announced hopefully very, very soon as well. So and yeah, our new single as well that's going to be coming out this summer. So
Um,
um,
yeah, I just
oh,
saw
go ahead,
I
Scott.
saw somebody asked a question, was asking, what do we listen to when we're not making our own music? And I'm just gonna post my Spotify playlist of like my favorite
Oh,
songs. So
nice.
I'm
It's
Yeah,
a
just gonna
great
put it
Scott,
playlist.
everywhere.
it's a
Great
great
playlist.
playlist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott's always
Feel free
finding
to
like
follow it.
different artists too that he keeps on adding. So I feel like it's such a
Hmm.
great go-to playlist for sure. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make a playlist. I've not had the time. I apologize, but I want to make a playlist of all the artists that we're playing with this year for our solo tour. Because we've played with so many amazing artists. And have a collective like playlist from just the artists that we're playing with. Someone earlier asked on the stream uh like what are bands that have affected us, and I would definitely say bands that we've played with, because I feel like it's so inspiring to get to I love live music. That's obviously that's a big part of what we do. So I mean, just the bands that we get to play with alone are a huge inspiration for us. So yeah, we will be sharing that out shortly.
Cool. Well, I guess we're probably getting to that time. Yeah. Is there
Yeah.
anything else? Um, it's just like I don't want to stop because there's so many people and there's so many great questions and um, but you know,
Uh, oh,
I don't know.
Non the Ghost is asking the inspiration for electrical.
But
That's yeah, that's a great question. So I that song was actually written in the middle of a tour. We were in, I want to say, North Carolina. For some reason, we keep getting drawn back to North Carolina. But we were in the middle of a tour, and it was the middle of the night, and I just, everyone was asleep. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and didn't want to wake everyone up, so I'm like sneaking out in the hallway, and I'm that girl like that's hunched over with her voice notes on her phone, humming this melody, and just sort of like the idea of like, I guess, living in a very toxic relationship, and how the dark side of what the word love can be. I guess without going into too much detail of sometimes that there is the shadow side of what can be well intended, because love is a word and love is a concept and love is as a feeling and emotion is a beautiful thing. But sometimes when it's used and it can be toxic or abusive, I think that's the shadow side. And so kind of looking into the shadows of that. And with every song, I always write with the intention of healing. So finding the healing through that, and finding a light in that. I like to look at like the lightning aspect of the shadow, sort of like the hope. So if that gives you an idea of the inspiration behind electrical.
I remember when that was first written, and it was one of those songs where it was just sort of came out, and Tosh was like, "Here you go," and when the band first played it, we knew it was like really special. Like it literally felt electrical, like while we were playing it, because we figured out the chorus, because it began as a completely complete piano song where Tosh was like, "Here's like the verse, chorus, everything," and oftentimes like piano, like you don't, it's just a piano, but it's like when you translate that into sounds, like, and you bring together a band in a room, it's amazing to hear. And then when it came together, it was so easy. It was just like, this is when the chorus comes in, then it's like chicka chicka, like or whatever, and it sounds awesome. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm loving the comments that are sharing your interpretations as well. The like the shadow side, the duality. Yeah, that's beautiful. I always love hearing other people's interpretations of our songs as well, because I think that's where the meaning really happens, is when other people connect with it in their own way, and find their own meaning and their own reception of it. And what's really amazing is when we get to do it live and we sing it together. Like I see other people
yeah,
singing it with me, and I'm like, oh, it's so connecting, because I feel like, y'all are singing it from your own perspective and experience, and we're singing it to each other and we're singing it together. And that's what makes it really special. And that's why I choose to be in a band and play live music, for that, these magical moments that we can share together, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Many more songs to come, many more musics. It's gonna
Many
be,
more musics.
yeah. I
Absolutely.
feel like we're just beginning.
Yes. Uh, Ed Webb is giving Hazel some love on the coolest hairstyle. Yes,
Oh, I
I
appreciate
agree.
that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes,
I
yeah.
thought they were talking about me. I was like, that's
I
right.
think Scott's up there. Scott's up there. I need to get that amount of fluff.
Yeah, the fluff is everything. We've been
It's
discovering on
gold.
tour, like wherever we are, depending on the weather and the environment, the climate, everything, the fluff changes. So it's good to have awareness of the fluff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm loving some of the shares on Twitch, sharing how some of the music has helped in terms of the meaning and helping to heal. And DCSD for electrical, I also sensed a little layer of image in the up down of an AC sine wave. That is beautiful. Thank you for
Wow.
sharing that. Yeah, really beautiful.
Yeah, that's,
Um,
I never, wow, never even thought about it like that. But that's
yeah,
true in terms of it, the arrangement,
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know that like, as I mentioned, that some of our songs can go into darker, heavier emotions. But the beauty of it is it's the intention of healing. Because you have to have a place to put your stuff, right? It's better out than in. I always say this. Like, if you internalize things too much, then you can hurt yourself or others. And I think it's a really beautiful thing to have music and art, expression, however you choose to express, as a way to be able to process things. There's stuff in life sometimes for me that goes beyond just a conversation. Like just talking about it doesn't help me. Like I need to write a song or draw a picture, something, that helps me kind of make sense of it. So yeah, and I love that we can connect to the world in that way. Aw. I love that this is on Instagram. Our Taz77 is you guys are we're an amazing show in Houston. Oh, and one of your favorite nights. That's amazing. We had an amazing time. It was so awesome that we were able to get the venue that was willing to host us. The venue before had shut down like at the last minute, and so we ended up having to jump over to the Black Magic Social Club, and it was really special for us to get to play there. That's where we did a photo shoot, our first photo shoot with Hazel.
That's
So
right. That's right.
yeah, that particular picture is special. It's not only as our first photo shoot with Hazel, but also that it just captured that moment on tour together. So yeah.
That's so true. I
Worm,
didn't even think of that.
worm,
That was a second
yeah.
location.
It's called Wormwood and Vine. I remember that.
Wormwood and Vine. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
I still have my smelly good balm too. And I tell everyone
Oh,
where I got it from too. My little protection balm.
that's awesome. I love it.
It's great. It's great. I'm gonna miss this cold voice.
I thought you said I'm gonna miss this cold. I was like,
I'm
oh
gonna
man.
miss this, not the
You're like,
cold.
I love
Well,
this
cold, I
cold.
don't feel terrible. I don't feel terrible. It's just all in my cough and just the sassiness.
You
I
could be
mean, if
real
only
sassy
you could,
now. It's great.
yeah, if
Sassy.
only you could just have it as like a little pedal where you're like, okay, I'm ready for this without the sticky part, right?
Yeah, exactly. Enter vocal inflammation pedal.
Oh,
Uh, that's what it is, folks. It's vocal inflammation, vocal fold
oh,
inflammation.
but we do love the sass.
Yeah, the sass is great.
Yeah. Well, my dears, I think we're gonna call it, but just want to
Mhm.
thank everybody for hanging out and for your patience and bearing with us. We are in streaming on Instagram live for the first time with our other platforms. And we're super grateful to y'all for hanging out with us and spending your Sunday afternoon with us. This has been super
Yeah,
fun. So yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
whole new
we're going to
world.
be doing this. We're going to be doing this again, not this coming Sunday, but the Sunday after that. So,
Hmm. Probably,
yeah,
probably along with our tea time, I imagine, as well.
yeah, we'll
Maybe
have
next
tea
Sunday.
time then as well.
Yeah.
So, for our
Yes.
inner circle peeps, we'll be doing a tea time as well. So, yes,
Yes. And
but
Inner Circle is basically like our Patreon. So we do. Somebody else was asking about like, can you give us a sneak peek of some new music? We actually did play the new song for our Inner Circle people, not the last time, but the time before it. And being in the Inner Circle, you do get a chance to hear in progress songs. You definitely get like a little bit of a sneak peek sort of situation. So um, it's a good thing. Plus, you get to hang out with us on a Zoom call like we are right now, but privately with all the other Inner Circle people, and it's really fun. So yeah. But with that being said, we do have to go.
oh,
And
and I just wanted to
yes,
send some big smooshy hugs to Israel as well. We are sending you a lot of love.
yeah, a lot of love.
And a lot of love to everybody. Thank y'all so much for your wonderful support and your kindness. I feel so lucky and grateful to be in a community of such kind people. So yes, thank you so much. And we are looking forward to hanging out again next time. Yep.
Yes.
Love,
We'll
love.
Yay.
see you all later.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.